everybody, and welcome back to the first 4 or more, in this case, a hell of a lot more. We are episode 8 of the Orville. It is your boy HSR.
8 or 7?
8. 8.
Okay.
Keep going. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Chris Crow.
Chris is going to spoil episode 9.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen episode 9.
Doesn't matter. We're just going to, anyway, end this one over here.
What's up, I'm Syd.
All right, so what we're going to do is spoil the whole freaking plot, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to talk about it. I wrote a lot of notes, so we'll describe scenes.
Oh, I got notes.
Yeah, and then we'll comment on the scenes, our impressions, our feelings, our whatever comes to mind. Then we'll bicker and debate as we do, as people on the couch, as you've come to see if you've been here before. If you're new here, I highly recommend clicking on to episode 1 as it will appear here, because why not go through the journey with us, or watch this video if you'd rather, because do that. We do appreciate it.
Come take our hands.
So this episode is called Into the Fold, alright? And we start off, and the doctor lady is being woken up by her kid.
Oh my god, and he does the Stewie thing.
And
Mom,
yeah,
Mama,
Yeah.
Mama, like
Okay.
exactly that.
I didn't notice it, to be honest, but I just appreciated the scene for what it was. Anyway, so he's mad excited and shit, and she's groggy, and he's excited for some amusement park trip or whatever, and then the brother's not waking up, and he's pretending to be dead and shit, and she gets in and is like, wake up, and we find out he hasn't even packed, and he's all whiny, and he doesn't want to go on this trip.
He's like, I don't want to do
He's
mom
like,
things.
Bradley's parents are going to let him go to the freaking space trip. Bradley's parents are alcoholics. And then she's like fucking super mom-like and forces him up. And that's kind of how we open up this episode. All right, Chris, jump in
I
now.
wanted to just touch upon how, like, I want to say blunt kids are. Like, obviously we know the kid's not dead. It would be a different scenario. But the fact that the little one went straight up to, like, oh, well, he's dead. Like, it's such a normal thing. It was a little striking to me.
It's my favorite part of this show so far, is just how normal everything is,
Yeah.
mixed in with all the crazy Star Trek-y
But
shit.
I mean, if
mixed
you
in with
think
all the
about it-
Family Guy shit.
But if you think about it, like,
Yeah.
as a parent, now I don't know this, so because I don't have kids, but I would assume as a parent, you know that your kid's kind of like quote unquote talking shit.
If you ever listen to any parent talk about their kids, what you saw there is what they describe, and it makes you go, ooh, I'm so happy I can sleep till 8.
So all kids are pieces of shit and you shouldn't have them.
That's not
That
what
is not what we are saying.
whatever. Anyway, so then we cut to like the kid literally bouncing up and down. Like literally he's bouncing. He's like a little one. So he's like 5, 6.
Yeah.
And then what I call bigger kid, whose name I can't remember, he's more like 10, 11, maybe 12. And the little one's Ty. So I remember his name. And then it's Ty. How do you forget? Anyway.
Like Digimon.
So then the kid shows up with like a Game Boy like thing, which is funny because he's got like a Game Boy.
Looks like it reminded me of the PlayStation Go.
Yeah, but like the fact
it
is,
flips up.
all the way in this future, all this crazy technology, kids still playing Game Boy. That shit ain't changed.
Well, it's not really that different.
It was really funny. And she's like, turn it off. He's like, you suck. He's like, I'm a mom. I have to suck. I don't have any accent for her. I don't even know how to approach that. And then Kelly comes over to be like, it's raining, so we swapped John, out to be like a different planet. No, not at all.
Like we swapped like jobs.
Maybe
Like
I'm trying. Relax. And then she's like, okay, wait, what do you mean? He was supposed to help with the kid. She's like, don't worry, I got a whole new person to like back you up.
And it's the robot.
Yeah, Isaac kind of walks out, and she's just like, crap. And it was pretty fucking funny.
But
and then you're just
hold on. I want to touch upon something. Already we get this single mother, 2 kids, father's not around feel. And I think that this is where the story and the message of this show is going right now, this episode. It's like, empowering single mothers and like being with kids and the experiences.
Yeah.
But the fact that they brought Isaac, who is very, I'm going to say neutral, that is where I found it to be very interesting in terms of how they're going to tackle this situation.
Go ahead.
I like the fact that they're going to focus on the doctor and the robot.
Yes.
Because that's 2 characters that I didn't think we were going to get let alone like their own episode in the first 9 or 10, but an episode together, like
Which
way
is
up the
cool,
right path.
because
Fair.
if we think about it, they're the only two, like, let's say, senior officers whose plot points, and I suppose that rather than wait 3 seasons to, like, kind of dabble in their characters, Seth understands what he's doing. He's kind of bluntly forcing down our... It's almost like, I saw a criticism of Star Trek Discovery where the way it's written almost implies, like, you know who all the characters are already, and it makes it a little bit hard to, like, keep up and follow because there's no, like, entryway, and it's like Seth saw that and just did a full, like, the opposite. No, I'm gonna introduce everybody.
Fair enough.
I thought that was freaking interesting, but I love the fact that Isaac's, like, whole intention with this is because, like, he's there to observe humanity and learn, and he's just delighted at the opportunity to study these offspring.
Right.
It was fun, but then we're in the shuttle, and, like, the one kid is like, stop messing with the seat, and she's like, stop messing with the seat. She's like, Ty is farting. Ty, stop farting. And it just, like, as you were saying, dude, super fucking normal. Super great.
Like, super normal stuff. And you can, and speaking about the normality of it, look at her face. It's not like she's getting mad. It's not like she's screaming until, I mean, of course, there is that breaking point, right?
Oh my God, if I have to come back there. Blah, blah.
Right, that point. But before that, you can see it's just for her. It's Monday morning. It's Tuesday morning.
And she just like, and as she's like intermittently screaming at them, and they're causing like havoc in the back and wrestling around. So you have that and like the whole back of it, and then you come to like the front of the scene. Something I noticed about this, I'm not really sure why I didn't notice before, but it's how well this episode was shot compared to some of the others, because it is a completely different setting and like tone to it. And I really like how they had so many things happening in a lot of these scenes, and it was really well done. But so yeah, in the whole background, you have this one scene playing out that you can still pay attention to if you want to. And then in the whole front of the scene, Isaac and Claire is her name, are having a whole conversation about like parenting, and Isaac's just being like a condescending dick, like, well, you clearly suck at parenting because they're not listening. And
But not at all in a way
yeah.
that's like,
no,
Like,
you're right.
you are. He's just like stating facts. Like this would be better if.
He says that your attempts to
Right.
calm them down have failed.
Would you like to just like break down Isaac's personality then for a quick minute?
So basically, what Isaac does is like, he's a machine, right? He
Right.
comes from a race that's technically superior to
Kalah or
biological
Cylon or
life
something.
forms. So like he sees the silly things, the inadequate things, the inefficient things that humans do, and he's like, the things that we do out of emotion that logically we
Don't
would
make sense.
skip those
Yeah,
steps, right?
yeah.
And he just kind of goes, why would you do that when you could do it so much faster or better
Right.
or stronger, whatever? But he doesn't get that either that would be hurting someone or that would be hurting people emotionally or like whatever. So that's this episode.
Yeah, and so he's like on a permanent mission from like his role here is to be like in an effort to increase peace relations between the two peoples, to better understand humanity so that they can, because obviously everyone views them like condescending dicks. It's not that he is one, it's that he is a robot in a very data like way from Star Trek, right?
And he's studying the
Humanity.
various...
So anyway, then as they're like arguing, the like shuttle just kind of like
Well,
rattles.
she throws something at him. Typical.
Yeah,
She
that's
kind of
funny.
like tosses like a little thing at him. I just thought that was cute.
Then the kids are all whiny, and he's like, I didn't want to go on this stupid trip anyway. You made me. And then Isaac gets hit in the back, and she's like, yeah, you want to like improve relations? Don't tell a mother how to raise her kids, because she's like, you
Super
freaking...
sassy.
Yeah, it was really great. It was well executed. And then something bad happens. The whole, like, everything shakes. And the kids are still goofing off. Like, the little one gets scared, and he's like, Mom, Mom, Mom.
Well,
Like, the big one's making fun of him.
Something happens. She gets up out of her seat because she's not. When the thing starts shaking, she's not around the kids.
No. It shakes, and when the bad thing happens, she's not around the kids. But at the very beginning, when it starts shaking, the kids are still goofing around. And then what ends up happening is as Isaac's going, like, because there's like an anomaly, and Isaac's like, we can dodge it, and life's okay. And then the kid fucking throws the Game Boy, and it smashes the controls, which is just so
Right.
fucking regular.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right,
fucking
right.
like It's what happens when kids are around.
Cliche.
And then they move right in the fucking anomaly, and then the kid's like, oh, now it's bad. The kids go sit down. Then there's some shit that happens, and she has to go, like, free up some valve and whatever.
Yeah, like
and then she goes into his seat.
But she goes into a seat that's not... She doesn't go back into her seat.
Right. It's in, like, the back of the shuttle.
Yeah, that's very specific.
And then they realize there's, like, a moon that they can go on and crash land because the shuttle basically got wrecked in the anomaly. And then they go and crash land, and the shuttle gets, like, split apart, and Mom goes over there, and Isaac and the kids go over there.
Wait, she gets ripped out of the plane, though.
Well, with her part of the shuttle.
Well,
like,
in the crash. But she doesn't get ripped out of the plane. She's
Like
in the plane because that's the thing.
Yeah, she's
when
still
she comes
in the
out
seatbelt.
of whatever, when she gets out of her captain's seat, like the top seat in the front, she goes into the back. Everybody sits down, and she's doing something with a valve, and like it's that whole intense. You got that music going. You're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And then she, boom, there's like a quick little seat right around the corner from where she is. So she's not in her captain's seat anymore. She's in the one in the back,
and she's strapped in.
But she's strapped in. She's
then
clearly strapped in because
shuttle,
you got that whole like struggle.
Just even on top of that,
Yeah.
the shuttle breaks into two pieces.
But she's strapped in. She doesn't go flying.
So you're right that like she does go flying, but like in the context of strapped into that part of the shuttle.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so they're separated.
And then I just gotta throw in, man, the way they shot this again. It was like I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like they mix CGI with like the stop motion or the toys or however the fuck they're filming it. Like they're because that's how they film Star Trek.
Kind of like watching
toys.
Robot Chicken.
And honestly, it was just so well done. It was really like you're watching it, and this is a good like 90-second sequence, right? Like it takes some time, and you don't get bored. You just get like caught up into it, and you realize this doctor lady's a fucking excellent actor. Like she sells every scene like a concerned mother would be selling the scene.
I wasn't. Anyway.
Okay, you guys don't have to like her. This was my noticing and observations. I was impressed with her at this point.
Holden observes. #.
Yeah, I liked how the fucking thing went. It was fun to watch.
Anyway, they've crash landed now. The whole thing is split.
You don't know what happened to Mom yet.
You open up to the scene where Isaac is...
the kids are freaking out.
Well, yeah.
Isaac's like, if you guys aren't broken, we should move. Oh, no. The kid's like got a broken something.
Yeah, the kid's got
a broken...
Isaac is like... broken leg.
So Isaac's like, are you damaged? And he does it in his like flat robot voice, which is kind of like Bordes, but just not as fun.
And he just kind of like snaps the thing back into place, and the kid's like, no, oh my god, oh yeah.
And no, but he screams, and like it does that classic pans out, almost like the birds are flying away because of the scream.
Yep.
And then he's like, yeah, and then it feels way better. And then the little one's like, I want Mom. And then Isaac like heads out to like start looking for them.
But he's also kind of like, she might be dead.
Yeah.
Like
and
super
then,
matter of fact, just like you should accept that she might be dead.
But then we like cut over for a split second, and we see her like lying there, and she gets totally just pulled away by some creature thing that you don't actually see. It's off camera.
Yep.
And then Isaac is like, we cut back. Isaac and the kids are outside of the shuttle. Isaac figures out where they need to go. The big brother is like, I know Mom is alive. And then Isaac's like, that is just a baseless assumption.
Well, actually, wait. Are we at the... No.
I'm reading it through like as it happened.
Go on.
Then he hands like the kid a gun. And he's just like, if you have this, you increase your chances of like survival for like 25%. He's like, you guys are weak and feeble. You can't keep up with me. If I go and come back, life is better. So and then he just turns and goes. And yeah, so I don't know if anyone has anything to throw in or it.
No,
Isaac's the best.
I find the giving the older son the gun, not that you're gonna give the little one the gun, obviously,
right.
but like giving the older son a gun is something you've seen. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. It wasn't like a surprise to me. It was like, yeah, the way Isaac is, it just kind of built up a little. The build-up wasn't so
but was it supposed to be a big reveal, or was it just supposed to be like a funny little moment?
Look, I feel like
it felt like an honest character moment from
Exactly.
Isaac. Like, this is how you're gonna survive. I'm gonna bounce.
Because I feel like it was actually a preface for like that closing scene.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that a little later, but I don't think it was that exactly. I felt like it was too dry to be emotional about it.
So what I got from this scene that I watched here was Isaac's going to have his first steps into humanity by the end of the episode, done through this bonding with the kid. The gun's going to be part of it, obviously. So it's just a setup for a later plot point to me. But Syd's right, man. It's exactly what he would do because he doesn't really understand the idea that offspring are like problematic because from his point of view, if the offspring are deficient, they just kill them. So like in his robotic official like society, right?
I don't disagree
so
with that.
here he just looks at the kids and goes, well, they'll be all right. He runs a math equation, doesn't appreciate the fact that they're frightened. He doesn't understand fear or emotion, and he leaves. So that's what happened there.
And then the episode continues.
Yeah, so he finds the shuttle and realizes that she isn't around. And then we like cut back to we see the kids playing on the Game Boy, and the little one's like, I need to go pee, come into the woods with me. The big one starts kind of like fucking with him a minute and then realizes how scared the little one is, and he's like, okay, I'll come with you. And then they hear some shuffling outside. The kid's like, I don't want to pee anymore. So he like grabs the gun and shit.
Yeah.
And then like it's a pretty well shot suspense scene that builds up to a pretty decent jump scare. Not reinventing the wheel, not anything new, really well executed. Then as the kid is about to shoot, Isaac shoots him, and we turn out there's some indigenous life form on the planet. And Isaac is just confused as like to why the kids are like holding on to him after this whole thing plays out and like kind of moves on from there. I don't know if you have any commentary or anyone. It feels like this one is just me reading out my notes on the plot.
No, I mean it's very, again, it's stuff you see generally and how it would play out.
Have we gotten to the bad guy yet? I
No, not yet. So then we're on the Orville. So finally we're back on the Orville, and they have Barry Manilow like playing in this scene, right? And here we have like basically everyone who had a contractual obligation to be in an episode plugged into like the same fucking room.
Yeah, they're not around for
No, because
but Borda says something funny.
But then that comes soon. So then Barry Manilow's playing, and then Lamar's kind of like, can we, like, change this shit? And then, like, the engineer guy's like, Barry Manilow's a fucking genius. And they start, like, debating the music, and they're kind of calling him old and lame, and everyone's like, yeah, change it.
Walks in, and then just goes,
well, just say it, dude.
I don't know the
Barry
name.
Manilow is a fucking genius. He just comes in and says it just like so. And then it's just like, oh, white people have lame taste in music was the joke. And it was funny because it was too funny. I just really enjoyed it. Then Kelly finds out the shuttle never arrived. Norm Macdonald is now freaking the fuck out because of the fact that the doctor is missing. And then they're like, okay, John, we need you to get us to that location. And he's just like, how? The computer that has all the navigational arrays over there disassembled. And he's just like, you're going to have to use star charts the old-fashioned way. And you just saw him like, man. Like, it was just too funny. I like Lamar's character a lot.
Oh, man.
And then we cut back to the planets, and the kids start squabbling about the game again. So, like, just to be fair, this episode doesn't have a lot of excitement, but it has a lot of, like, character development. Like, the whole episode is thrown in to plug. Like, this is honestly, I could say, it's almost a filler episode in the sense of what it does to move the granular plot, but it has a very specific role of basically developing Claire and the Isaac to give you more about them.
It's all about Isaac. This episode is 100% Isaac just steals the scene.
No, absolutely. So in this scene, the kids are squabbling again about the game, and then who's going to be in the most trouble. And then like the kind of like quotes the kid. Isaac quotes the mom verbatim, and the kids are like, "What?" Because he like quotes the mom like in the way she said it in the shuttle, but in his own voice, and this
like
confuses the kid.
If you guys don't stop like bickering around, I'm gonna lose my top.
And then Isaac starts to kind of explain how fucked everybody is. Like there's things around, there's dangers and stuff, and the kids is like, man, in class, we learned about this material. It just might be like found trace elements of it. And then Isaac's like, that can't be.
And he's like, but what if yes?
And then we try, and it's yes. And
that's literally like Isaac's like, no, we can't do that. And the kids is like, okay, but what if you did?
And then
it works.
Isaac drops his first true classic line, like his as good as Bordas line. You're not as intellectually stunted as I had previously believed. And I really enjoyed that. And then the kid is like, what if there are monsters around? And he's like, it is what it is, practically.
I liked a lot of Isaac's lines in this episode.
No, he got better from like this point on. But what I really liked about this scene is just how one of the things that'll often happen, I find, in science fiction with the trope of like super intellectual species is that our dumb human ideas are just way better in a lot of circumstances to show that sometimes intelligence alone isn't everything. And the fact that this kid's simple curiosity was just able to create a solution to the problem, in a way that his intellectual superiority could not really. I liked it. I thought it was well done.
Holden's happy the machines aren't taking over yet.
Oh, they're
Hashtag Holden's happy the machines aren't taking over yet.
I really enjoy deep learning machines and stuff. The idea is crazy, man. Just go read up on that stuff. It's fucking crazy good. But still, Isaac's fun. Artificial intelligence. Woo! Hashtag artificial intelligence. Yeah, that was a bad
Hashtag
one.
Robin Williams.
Hashtag Chris kills hashtags. Now Claire is on a bed in a grungy ass room, and then Claire bangs on the door, like screaming, like what the fuck's going on? And creepy dude shows up with a bowl. He's like, "You must be hungry."
Yeah, he was a bad guy twice on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that is my comment.
That's funny. And she's like,
Different bad guys though.
But he's not even a bad guy in this one.
he's not
He's
really
like
a bad
he's
guy.
not-
He's more
He's
of a
not a bad guy,
skis.
but he's kind of a
He's kind of a
douche.
ski. He's more like a creeper, we can call him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Where are my kids at?" He's like, "Eat." She's like, "Come on, where are my kids?" She keeps asking questions. And he's like, "Eat." That's kind of what it is. And then she like tries to leave. He shoves her against the wall in a really forceful way. And he's like, "You are in a safe place."
Just get the rapiest vibe from this guy.
It's so weird.
Jesus.
And then he's like, locks her back in, and then she sees some shit on the wall on the door that she can clearly pry open. Like, this show is not subtle. It's like as obvious as it could possibly fucking be, right? But it worked. And then we cut over to the woods. They're still arguing over the game as they're walking through the woods. Lame ass kid logic of like, "Oh, you can't have it because of this, blah, blah." And then Isaac just kind of gets fed up.
Well, wait. We missed
No.
a part.
What did we miss?
I think, did we talk about the part where Isaac holds the kid's hand and
No.
the kid?
No.
Isaac throws the Game Boy and shoots it and goes, "The game is never to be spoken of again."
Yes.
That was fucking funny. See, like I said, they just get better from that moment. Then he's like,
See,
"What am I
Isaac-
going to do now?" And then he's like, "Well, you can help me with my study." And they get into like this chit chat over how he treats his mom. And he literally plays back a clip of the kid talking. And then the kid starts freaking the fuck out, like, "Oh my God, that's the last thing I said to my mom." And then some guys show up and try to grab the kids. Isaac starts shooting them. Isaac's like, "They wanted to eat you." And then the kid holds the hand, and then Isaac was like weirded out by it. And then the
It's not
big
that
brother.
he's weirded out. He's like, the things are gone. You can let go of me now. Like, I'm not keeping you safe
Yeah,
anymore. Because
yeah.
in his logical brain, the only reason
Yeah.
the kid would be holding his hand
And
would
then,
be for like
so then
safety.
Big kid's like, "You know what? Just hold his fucking hand without the fucking." And
don't
But
fuck the
I like that part because I feel like as much as the older brother's trying to be a rebel, that part of like understanding that you have to protect your younger one is still there. Like he's like, "Well, I don't want to have to do this, but I'm telling you," like kind of like he's telling Isaac what to do, and that's like his rebel want to like grow up type
But,
of feel.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's the I understand my little brother is
Yeah.
looking at you for, comfort.
See, I feel like it's not so much of a rebel thing, but part of the little ones, the bigger brother's character development is you have to kind of be a bit of a man as the growing gets tough. And that's like the first steps he's taking where he's recognizing things aren't okay and Isaac's fucking up, so he has to step in. So I don't know if it's rebellious, but otherwise I agree with everything you're
Quick
saying.
question. What if the kid were to held, what if the older brother would have held the little brother's hand? You think
Yeah,
that would have
but
been different? Like, you
I
think,
think
that
it's
would've-
different because Isaac was the hero in that moment who literally saved them versus the
Right.
brother being just the
Right.
brother who's a shit. Anyway, so then we're cut back over to Claire who breaks off a piece of the bed and uses it to pry out some shit in the window, and she's clearly working on that. So Creeper comes back in and is like, "You haven't eaten." And he's like, "You must eat food. Food is scarce and shit." He yells at her and whatnot, so she eats. His name is Jorgen. Got his name. And then we find out a bit about the environment, and she asks about the communication device and says we have it. So he starts to explain how there was some war on the planet, and as a result, the water supply of the area is completely poisoned. And he presents the fucked up nature of it all. He explains that basically he's basically the weirdo with the fallout shelter who's stacked up for like the end of the world. And in his planet, it actually happened.
Yeah.
So he's like the only guy with guns and food and clean water. So he's completely healthy. And everyone else is the equivalent of feral ghouls in Fallout.
Right now, he's crazy ex-girlfriend, but there's no one else around.
Yeah. But I really like that. That's kind of what it is. And then she's like, okay. he's prepared, and she's like, I'm a doctor, maybe they're secure. He's like, fuck that noise, you got me now, and locks her in. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing.
But he's basically like, you're going to be safe here, and I'm sad.
And then she continues
So
her
sad.
assault on, like, the
Beauty
window.
and the Beast.
Yeah,
Which
a
is
little
really
bit.
a story of Stockholm Syndrome when you think about it.
Which is,
Yeah.
well,
That's-
but I don't know if she has Stockholm Syndrome.
No, not this one.
Hashtag Chris kills hashtags.
Hashtag Emma Watson's not a real feminist.
Hashtag the kids come by the water and they need to cross. So then the little one falls in and obviously drinks some water because we just learned out that the water was poison. You know, that just kind of...
Danger.
See, that
Danger
I would
things.
say is about the only part of the episode I felt a little forced and contrived was the kid getting sick. It was,
No, there was a
but
worse
it,
one.
it had
Okay.
to. It had
Wait,
to happen.
that's what I mean. Like, it had to, but it didn't feel as natural as most of the episode.
I don't think it would made. I don't think the effect of the message and everything would have been the same
I
if the
know.
other one got sick.
But that doesn't change the criticism because, as you know, I'm just saying that's
Fair.
what I noticed. Then the Orville, we cut over to there, and they get to where the shuttle went through. They realize what happened. Malloy is like, "Yo, back in the day, we called this a glory hole," and then Mercer's
Oh my
like,
God.
"No, only you did." And then as we're going through and they decide to go through it, we have Bordis drop the line because I was like, "Where's the Bordis line?" No,
And then here it is.
now entering the glory hole. And then Mercer's like, Bordis, you can't. And he's just like, I don't understand. And Mercer's like, you know what? And he like lets it go. They go on through. They realize that there's some damage as they go through.
But it doesn't
And
matter because the episode's over because Borders dropped his line.
No. But there's actually a moment right after that happened that was still pretty good. As they're checking the damage report, somebody actually enters. I spilled soy sauce on my pants. And Mercer's like, fuck off. Can you believe that's there? Because remember, he just got chewed out in the last episode for, like, the bullshit crew he has. And he's like,
Right.
we need...
the statue.
And he's like, we need
Yeah.
fucking... Oh, yeah, you should click here and watch that episode if you haven't.
Is that gonna be right there?
Yeah, it'll be
You
right
can
up
watch
there. It's whatever.
Let's talk about it, dude. Hump a statue
That's true.
for 35 minutes.
And then Mercer's like, we need more people. And then they get to there and realize there's like 37 moons, and they kind of have a needle in a haystack situation where they have to manually go search one by one, because keep in mind, all their shit's kind of like in pieces, right? Like
Yeah.
their computers aren't set up
They're
right.
they're fixing them.
And then now we're at the campfire, and Isaac's like, what's wrong? Why are you eating? To the little one. And the big bro is like freaking out over like what he said, that he sucked. And he's like, there's a good chance she isn't dead actually. Because, you know, the statistics have moved in that favor, obviously. And they kind of light up and they get a little more excited. Then Ty's like, Mom would tell us bedtime stories. And he's like, please assume a horizontal position. And like, they're like, what? And he's like, okay, lie down.
Yeah.
And then he tells them, they're like, tell us the story.
It's
So
an amazing story.
he tells them literally the plot of the episode up until that point. That's what he tells them. And then he's like, that's the worst story
But like you have to
ever."
understand that he's like, once upon a time, a ship crashed on a planet, and two kids were separated from their mom, and they don't know if she's alive or dead. The end. Like,
It's so horrible. Just his he doesn't have a speck of creativity.
So then they're like, can you download this one? And it was like Peter Cottontail
Peter Rabbit
or Peter Rabbit.
Cottontail or whatever. I don't know.
And then he starts reading it in his voice, and they're like, use the mom voice. And the big one's like, that's kind of creepy. And then he does, and then
And
they
it's
both just
totally
like
creepy.
fall asleep. And it because he's like moving and stuff as he's in her voice and reacting.
It's fucking creepy.
Anyway, and then he keeps telling the story in her voice, which is cool because the way they like did this, as she like breaks out of the scene, and they do this like single shot of her breaking up the scene, panning the camera, and she goes all the way around this like cut because she's like high up and shit.
Yeah, she kind of walks on the, like, she comes out of the window. She finally breaks the thing off in her
Yeah.
cell. She comes out of the window. She steps on the ledge, or kind of like crawls on the ledge, and then she kind of goes around. You see like a patio door.
And then she,
glass.
like, goes
she
through
pulls
there.
some straight James Bond
But
shit.
but basically the way they shot it was just this beautiful single shot. There was no interruptions. Like, it must have not been so easy to do, and it really impressed me. It was beautiful scenery, and I like the fact. Well, because man, you got to consider it. This is like a completely different styled episode that's not on the Orville, showing that like Seth is gonna make it interesting for us the way through. Like, we're not just limited to the ship. We got options. Is all I'm trying to say. Thank you, Mr. McFarlane. Anyway,
Thanks, Seth.
then the kids wake up, and the little one's fucking face is covered with disease, and he calls for Isaac.
Gross.
And then the doctor lady slices her arm back in the room and calls for help. Creepy guy walks in and is like, what happened? And she's like, I need to go disinfect it.
No, she's like, I cut it on the bed or whatever. And he's like, that was stupid.
Yes, that happened. And she convinces him to go get like medical supplies. She touches his hand and is like, it plays up to the fact that he is this lonely creeper.
She's like, if I'm infected, I'm gonna die, and
Yeah.
then you won't be able to be rapey with me.
Yeah. And then she takes advantage and quickly wraps up the womb, escapes the room. Oh, that's where the lead scene happens.
Okay,
Right.
this is the moment that I didn't like, because she has a conversation
Hold on.
with her son.
Yeah, that happens right after she finds the communication
Yeah.
scene. So for those people, I spoiled for once. Chris, you're not the one. You tried a couple times. I stopped you, but I did it this time. Anyway, she does the whole cool one-shot scene, goes into the next room, finds the communicator thingy. Then she contacts Isaac, and now you can
Right.
bitch about the kids.
And then, okay. And then in this moment, this is when they choose. When little brother is dying, she has like limited time to get away while guy's out getting fucking whatever. And this is when they choose to have their heartfelt like, listen, this is a life. Like, I was like, no, this
Sorry,
is not
just to
what we're
add a
doing.
little
Hold on.
context.
hold on.
Hold on. Let me just break down what happened for a quick second here. So the little one's sick, all right, and then she's like, Isaac, what's up? I'm alive. She's like, okay, let's rendezvous at X place, whatever. And then she's like, can I speak to the sick one? And she speaks to the sick one. And then whatever, which is okay. But then the bigger one is like, can I talk to mom for a second? Walks off to the side, all like, I have to be like, can't do it in front of people. Apologizes, and then they take like a good 30-45 second heart to heart.
And it's like, no, you're not doing this right now. Like, this is not the time.
Listen,
Get back to
listen,
your dying
listen,
son.
listen.
And then she basically is like, listen. So it gets established in this before you jump in, Chris, is people who love each other say mean things to each other, and we have to get over it. Don't worry about it. I love you. You love me. But now I need you to be a man for your big brother. Okay, Chris, go.
That is it.
Man,
Like,
you had
but
no additional commentary?
No, it's because...
But that's not when the moment needed to happen.
No, but it's, you know what? It is. And it's stupid, and you know what? It's stupid to think, but it would happen in a lot of situations. In a situation where it's so horrible, and you get that moment to apologize, that's your piece. So for the kid, I understand where he's like...
The kid, yes, but the mom who sits there and is like,
think about it. What is mommy going to do?
The officer on his ship is going to go, no, look, we're going to have this conversation when I get back and I save your little brother.
But it's her child. She has to
she has limited time on all fronts.
And that's fine. But you know what? As a mother, she's willing to get herself killed
Allow
to
me to
speak to
chime
him,
in.
to protect him.
I had an idea as you guys were describing it.
Holden's going to
So let's think about this more like a CEO would evaluate a business decision.
Oh, Jesus.
So she knows that Isaac's pretty much useless on a compassion front, and her little one is sick and dying.
Yes.
And Isaac's useless on a compassion front.
Yes.
So by taking this extra 30 seconds at a little bit of a gamble and risk, she guarantees that her little one might have the faith and psychological power to live through this stronger by having the support of her older brother, which was really the focus of that move. So from a parenting point of view, it's super strong. From a tactical perception, it has some value. But you're also right. She didn't have to do it, so she could have cut it in half, is all I'm trying to say.
And you're missing the other variable that the guy was on his way back, her captor, bigger,
Yes.
stronger man than her.
But as she's having the conversation, she pulls out the knife. And keep in mind, there's distance between this place and like the ship, and she probably knew she had 15 minutes. You know why I say that? Because she was waiting behind the door patiently, and like she had all that time for a motherfucker to like show up. I'm agreeing that it took too long. I'm saying she could have just threw it in with less time, but then she's sitting there with the knife. Anyway, I don't know if that happens. Give me a second.
I'm right though.
Yeah. So now he gets back in, and then she's behind the door and she stabs him. Hold on. Fuck, I moved my notes.
Super gory. She's like, Murr.
Give me a second. And then she's behind there, stabs him. The little fight scene plays out, and she shoots him with the fucking gun. And the thing is you got to keep in mind, this is the doctor, and this is
hold on. She also gets stabbed.
Yeah, but yeah,
Just a little stabbed.
That's okay.
She hides behind the door. He walks in. He's confused.
Yeah,
she stabs him. He
I
picks
just
her up.
lost-
He throws her into the wall. He goes. He takes it out of him. He stabs her in the freaking kidney or wherever the hell this
then
area
It's
is.
like
here.
kind of stabbed. She's not
Then
like,
picks her up, and then
And then
she
he
takes the gun, gets thrown, and then...
Okay.
like she's like Tuesday morning stabbed, not Friday night stabbed.
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay, but like what I thought was really noteworthy here is we're talking about the character who promotes life above all else and who does not kill. And this is probably like the only person on the crew who has never been in a position where she had to kill before. And for her kids, she had to kill this guy. And you see it on her face. Like, when you really watch her face, you see it, like, that's what I'm saying. She really sold this part really well. Because you could see, like, the conflict as she shot him and then recollected immediately after on it.
You know those kill count videos? Yeah. You get, like, Luke Skywalker kill count or, like, Batman kill count. I'd like to see, like, an Orville kill count. Because now they've all murdered a lot of people.
Yeah. And then what I have to say, she's a cold-ass G. And then as she's, like, running through, she starts shooting other people. And it really made me think, Seth put her through some serious shit to show the lengths a mother will go through to protect her children. Because if she doesn't kill these fuckers, violating her ethical code, her babies are in danger. She even then stops and, like, grabs a blood sample so she can find a cure. And then as she, like, goes off, we see, like, a wide pack of feral ghouls running through the Fallout wastelands. And then she gets back to the shuttle. They all get reunited. It's wonderful. Yay. Everybody's happy.
Well,
she goes to see the little one. Isaac tries out that crystal shit. They're all like, yeah, there's power. Then they activate a distress beacon. Burns out. There's no power. Isaac points out how unlikely it is the Orville will find them. And then she just fucking snaps, right? Because she knows she can fix this. And the Orville just is the solution, and she doesn't know, and she cries. And Isaac shows some growth. And guess what Isaac does? Holds her hand. And it was really like, see, that's why they had to have that hand. Pretty much every little moment
everything
in the beginning
was foreshadowing another thing.
Yeah.
But then, like, to the point where sometimes it felt like
a little contrived. Is it contrived the right word?
Yeah.
Maybe. And then the Orville detects it, and it's like a blip. And
but at the same time,
Mercer's like, go. The Orville departs.
At the same time, though, some of these, like, feral ghoul wastelanders start creeping around the ship.
Well, we'll get there.
Really?
Yeah, because we're on the Orville and they see them.
Because we're still on the Orville.
But
the Orville's like, there's 24 of them, 24. They have basic laser weapons and are not prepared. Isaac may have battle armor on, but still, that's a lot.
But still, yo.
See, I was describing it in Fallout Parable there, Chris.
Yes.
Because Isaac's kind of like he's in battle armor.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
I've never played Fallout.
It's fun
you,
times.
my friend, need to come to my house and play.
It's pretty good.
All right, we'll do it.
And then he's like, I need more help. He starts shooting at the things while mom is trying to deal with the kid. She sends out the bigger kid. And then you get the real father-son moment as Isaac starts teaching him how to, like, shoot on the fly.
But that's the thing. That's where I want to touch upon. Hold on. When the mother gives the son the gun, that's where I want to talk to you, Syd, about the moment when Isaac gave the son the gun. I felt that whole scene, even when he was like, I'll go, you knew the mother knew already that he's already shot. That he's already had the gun in his hand. You can already tell the way he was so, like, ready to...
Okay,
so the kid didn't actually pull the trigger.
Fine, he didn't pull the trigger, but he had the enough bravery to stand up and go out.
But he actually froze in the moment.
I know he froze. He didn't get that far, but he still had enough courage to go out and aim and point.
Yes.
So in that moment, when the mother was like, I'm gonna do this, and like I'm gonna have to take care of my baby, right? The older brother was like, no, I'll go, and you knew the mother already knew he was ready.
But hang on, I want to come back around because first off, you just said that Isaac starts teaching.
Hold on, you're right. But before that, the mom
mom
says put it on stun. Go out there, point and shoot, and then as he's happening, Isaac's giving him guidance. Okay, you need to focus. You need to point it like that, kind of.
But like, Isaac already taught him how to shoot.
She says something.
No, but Isaac says something. Hold on. Isaac was like, "Here's how to use a gun: point and shoot." Now, as he's doing it, he's giving him almost fatherly coaching.
Yes. Okay. Focus, aim, your stance.
So I would say
she did
different.
It too. She
gave him general
she
advice.
Said, keep your legs open, bent knees or whatever, and like.
Okay.
But
make sure it's on stun because we value life and they don't.
I was gonna wait to the end to bring this up, but did you feel like there was maybe kind of a romantic thing between the Doctor and Isaac?
Yes, but we should wait to the end to bring that up.
It's weird though.
No.
Yeah, I did feel it.
No.
And I see where you're going with it, and I'll explain after. Isaac teaches him how to shoot. Mom gives him the pep talk, blah, blah, blah. And then the shuttle from the Orville shows up and really blasts in like heavy artillery right in the nick of time.
I just want to say one thing.
And then all the bad guys run off. The feral ghouls, I should say.
I just like how the kid's there with like two heads, like focusing, and Isaac's like boom, 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 boom.
Well,
he's a fucking robot.
I know he's a robot, but it's just funny to see.
It is like he's right actually.
It's comedic on the eyes.
It's cute. Then they cut back to the Orville. They synthesize the cure, etc. They go like, maybe we can go help the people if like the union approves. And then Claire's like, you know what? I have to go do something. So she heads on over to Isaac. She calls him over. She makes it clear that Ty's going to make a full recovery and asks him to go drop by.
Swear to God, I thought she was going to kiss him.
Yeah, and then Isaac's kind of like, why? And then she's like, well, he misses him. And then she gets super emotional, and she's like, thank you. And like has this look of like almost longing in her eyes. And he again insults her parenting, but says he's kind of insults the children, but ends it with like he's still kind of fond of them, and he seems almost confused by this. And she's like, welcome to the family.
Hold on. I want to touch upon that.
Okay, please
This
touch
is
upon that.
I've seen this happen in a lot of shows and in a lot of movies where somebody who doesn't understand kids, specifically, because a lot of movies, you have humans, they usually turn out to say, like, your kids are annoying, your kids are a pain in the ass, but I love them and I don't know what I do with it.
They fall in love.
Kind of.
I wouldn't say they fall in love. I wouldn't say they fall in love.
To Mr. Sidney's theory.
Cliche. That's your cliche typical thing. But think
that's what you were quoting was the cliche typical thing.
And we already know that Isaac is capable of intercourse
because he's trying to mac
it.
He's not capable of intercourse. He offered to learn. He offered to learn how to do it.
But
he
that
doesn't
means
know
he
how.
is capable of doing
Listen,
it.
he knows how to do it just as much as the robot in Robot Chicken, okay?
I don't know. Data from Star Trek had sex with a girl on the thing because he was able to do it due to like how he was developed. Yeah.
It's like The Office, right? If Dwight and Angela can have sex,
yes.
then
all right. So
robot
clearly we're wrapping up the end of the show.
Well, first of all, I would definitely want to keep watching. I can't wait till the next one comes out. I think it comes
definitely.
So are we still saying that?
Definitely.
Dude, we're on fucking episode 8. Like, we're watching it.
I know. We're going to finish this season, everyone. It's pretty much
Look at
first
his smile
four.
through the mic.
Because we argued.
But
did you guys hear the good news?
Smile through the
But
mic?
did you guys hear the good news?
What's the
got
good news?
renewed for season 2.
Yes, we did.
That means that next year we're back.
We renew ourselves.
Oh.
Look, I'm going to abuse it the one time. Leave a comment below if you want us to come back with this for
He was allowed
2018.
3 of these. He was allowed 3
I
of
was
these.
capped at 3. I've used 1 today.
Okay, so yes, please let us know how you feel about this in the comments because we really appreciate you
Give
watching.
us comments.
Thank you so much.
I said I could say
As
it too.
always, please let us know. Yeah. Like
You
the video
can't
if you
use
like
my
it.
thing.
To quote the great Jake Paul, smash that subscribe
Oh my
button
God,
if you
stop
feel
quoting
it.
him.
I mean, come on, that's just what we do. We throw obscure, non-related references in, right? Right, that's what we do. Anyway, my name's HSR. This is Chris Chrome.
Hold on, before we leave, I do have a question for everybody. If
Sup,
there
you
is
beautiful
anything,
bastards.
okay, don't even steal that from Phil. That is mean.
So as you can see, we have a
That is
vlog in the
mean.
corner talking
Listen,
about our latest
hold on.
weird behind-the-scenes shit. That's
what
not
I do
really
want to
the size
have,
to
what I
Syd.
do want to ask the
Hey,
viewers
it's me.
is if there's anything in this episode we missed, any comments, statements, anything that the characters have said,
Shut the
please
fuck
let
up
us
about
know
it.
and
No, take
start
care.
a conversation with it. Did it change your way of thinking? Did it give you a new
we
perspective?
care.
We care.
We do.
And
Anyway.
honestly, that comment we got on that episode with the gender roles about the whole like fucked up nature of how they could be all women and stuff, and that was
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, mind
Yeah.
fuck.
That was a mind fuck.
Straight up.
We're not getting that on the music reviews. We do music reviews.
We got
Well, we haven't really done a transgender album or a transgender song.
We could. There is a transgender album we could do
All right, it's time to go.
against me.
Bye, guys.
Let us know if you want us
See
to
you
review
next
against me.
episode.
Comment in below.
11
Bye.
seasons of MASH.